Hey guys, this is part 2 of the p+log about everything. Well, me talking about where I'm at. Um, and there's just so much to unpack, of course, with that whole video, but I want to pick up where I was at the end, which was me discussing how when you participate in the glory of God, you're not going to want to use people for yourself, for your own healing, which a lot of the world does because of how broken we are. We go to medicine, we go to other people who, honestly, it's like you have to meet them in a way that maybe you can't afford. So a lot of people miss out on healing in that sense. And there's just so many. I mean, I can't really name them all, but it's this idea of disconnectedness. But when we are plugged in, abiding to the will of God, we are able to be co-workers in bringing healing as we have also been healed. Again, I have to say this. We aren't totally healed. We are still in this world, you know? If we were totally healed, then we would be walking Jesuses, all of us. But we're not. But we are to be like Christ. That's what Christian means. Christ-like, little Christians. So the goal is to bring the glory of God, to be the glory of God, as the wife is the glory of her husband, the church is the glory of Christ. It's this whole hierarchy, you can say, but it's just the weirdest, most beautiful hierarchy in my opinion, where that who is beneath is not of lesser, but just lesser in value, but in lesser in authority. You know, it's like the final say is not us, the church. The final say is Jesus Christ. Anyways, we don't need to talk about theology too much. What I want to talk about is the benefit of healing, when that healing is God sought after rather than flesh sought after. So spirit seeking versus flesh seeking. Healing is desired and is basically from the hurt and damage and sin. You know, sin is the brokenness of us and the world, the evil we live. And when we have healing, sin is manifested spiritually in different ways, spiritually and physically, I mean. So when we seek for healing, we will first think the most immediate, the most natural, which is the flesh. That's why we'll go to food, if you're me. You'll watch TV shows. For me, it was The Office at one point. You'll go for goals and achievements like school, trying to become this. I've said this in a p+log before, but if y'all didn't know, there's a time I really wanted to rule the world. And God really humbled me in that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We seek that restoration in manipulation of people. Again, I'm mainly naming things that I've done and have been corrected and been shown that this is sin, that this is evil that I give to the world by seeking healing for myself. But when you get this divine healing, it's healing that doesn't just benefit you, but the world that you live in, instead of giving more evil. And what does that mean? It's so funny because I was just talking about this with a friend on TikTok. I said that a particular sin that we were discussing, because he was saying murder is the taking away of life, pedophilia is the taking away of consent, and then he was proposing what is homosexuality the taking away of, or how is that, you know, an evil, and he proposes it's not. But I said, well, it's taking away of the life that could be. In the same way, whenever we take away someone's purpose because of us wanting to use it for ourselves, being energy vampires, so to speak, we deprive the world of the life, the healing that could be. And the example is this boy that I really liked, right? So this boy, he is a talented artist. He tells great stories through his art, in my opinion. And I really, 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 really liked him. Obsessed, as I'll confess these days. And if things were to work out the way I wanted it to, I am pretty sure I would have deprived the world of William. And no matter what that was supposed to be manifested as, that would have been a huge disservice, a huge sin, and just huge hell. Like, imagine there's so many people that you may think of. I can think of people who have impacted me because of them living a life of wanting to give. But because of maybe someone reallocating their energy to somebody else, because maybe I'm being the energy vampire, taking away their life, taking away their purpose, the world's deprived of them. And that's a type of brokenness to perpetuate. And if you're a person of God, if you're a person who wants healing, if you're a person who wants good in the world, less evil, to take away from someone for yourself is actually very selfish. And depending on what you see, if you believe that healing is to go beyond the self, then you're definitely contradicting yourself. So I discovered that a long time ago, at least now. 5 years is a long time, but that's been my journey. 5, maybe approaching 6 by October of this year, right? Because 2016, no, it's approaching 5 years. Oh my gosh, I've been saying 5 years for a long time. But approaching 5 years of my whole journey starting. I don't think it was until 2 years ago where I began to accept that letting go of what I needed healing for in my eyes, what was right in my eyes. Those of y'all who read Judges, you know what that means. Meant letting God govern what is right according to Him, because He's the Creator. And by that we're being given this vision that I mentioned in part 1, which is, my goodness, I'm so easily distracted. I'm hearing phone calls right now. As you're probably hearing. But what I said in part 1 was the vision I had once before that I would like to give William an art studio as a gift from me to him, as my love for him, is now given a new light, not because of my love for him, which is there, although in a different way. It's not dependent on the romance and all the things that are very intimate and one-on-one, but because it is a way of participating and co-working in the glory of God, of bringing healing to the world, bringing good to the world, and for him it's through the stewardship of his art and the teaching of it, because I think he's a teacher as well. And when I had that realization, I was surprised, because I'm always surprised with God. He always tends to take things that were tarnished and tainted by my own view and selfishness and show how it can be in a selfless way. And it makes me so happy to let go of my own ideas, because he always makes my ideas better than my ideas. Like, how is that even possible? Anyways, I don't know where I was supposed to elaborate on that whole thing, but given that I have limited production, meaning the storage space of this phone, because that's all of the storage that I use, or the technology I use is this phone, and then uploading to YouTube, I'm going to have to end it here because I don't know what else to talk about. At this point, I'm just rambling. I'll brag about God, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think it makes sense until you know what to brag about God about. Literally, we can't boast in anything of ourselves. He is so much better than us. I'm sorry. But if you think that you could do better... Anyways, now I just been given the battery. Y'all, go ahead and read your Bibles. Even if you're struggling in your faith, I am too. But that's where we're at. Yo, bye-bye.